my name is Curci, and this is a brand new episode of We Talk. I actually had something else scheduled to come out this week, but then at the last minute I changed it because I felt like this was a little bit more warranted to come out. We're going to be doing the top 5 most anticipated games of 2014. Now, I know that 2014 is technically 3 months old already, but all the games on my list have yet to come out, so I figured there's still time to put this out. Now, real quick, what you're probably looking at is Grand Theft Auto 5 footage. The reason why you're watching Grand Theft Auto 5 footage is because of the fact that if I did this list last year, Grand Theft Auto 5 would have been my most anticipated game. So, also the fact that the game also made $1 billion in like 3 days, which is insane. So, a lot of people went and bought the game within 3 days. It is record shattering. It's incredible what they were able to do. So you're probably looking at Grand Theft Auto 5 footage. So let's get right into the list. Number 5 is Destiny. The reason why this game is so low on my list is because I do have a little bit of concerns. It does look cool. Like many other games that are going to be on this list, Destiny will blur the line between single player and multiplayer. I don't know if there's actually a single player mode to it. The game looks open world. I don't know how open world it is. First of all, the game looks incredible. It looks awesome. The weapon designs look really cool. The environments look beautiful. I think that the enemies look pretty cool. Now, what I saw at E3 last year was only given a taste of what is the real game. Now, you're playing with other players. It has like that MMO feel where there's like public events that other players can jump in on. I don't know if there's any events that'll pin you against other players. I would like to see that, but the fact of the matter is that it doesn't really come off to me like that. I think it's a very cooperative thing. But the game also reminds me a lot of Borderlands, where you go through, you travel the area, you kill mobs, and then you collect loot. I'm afraid that the game is going to come off as a more Borderlands kind of game, and I don't want that. I mean, we had that game. It's called Borderlands 1 and 2. Now, not really a huge fan of Borderlands myself. I tried both of them. Not really my cup of tea. I'm not saying they're bad games, just not something I'm into. Destiny, I want it to be good. I know a lot of people are excited for it. It's a Bungie's game since releasing Halo, so I'm excited because I like Bungie. I like the Halo series. I mean, they created Halo, and I really like it. And I really want Destiny to go well. So the premise of it is that this is like based in the future. It's on Earth, but I think Earth may have been attacked by an alien force. Like there's this big moon-looking thing in the sky. I think that they're going to elaborate. There is a story to this game because the trailer shows a lot of cinematics. It does look like a lot like there is a narrative to it. I hope it's a lot better than, say, a Borderlands 1 or 2 narrative, because the game of Borderlands isn't really known for its narrative. It's known for its gameplay value. I want Destiny to do really well, but I really am afraid that it's going to come off as a prettier looking Borderlands. Now, I want to be into it. I am going to get Destiny. Hopefully I get really into it, and hopefully I play it with a couple of friends and, you know, have a lot of fun with it. But it is a game that is highly anticipated. I know a lot of people are really excited for it. I really like the public events aspect of it because it's really going to change the pace. It's something that you don't get in a Borderlands game. Usually you go quest, you have your quest line right there on the right, and then you go, you know, you do your thing so you can get that cool loot. But the game, I think, is based around the loot gathering, the mob killing, and it's not really something I'm into. I want something, it needs to be, this narrative needs to be good for me, and it needs to give me something other than just looting and mobbing and PvEing, basically. So Destiny is number 5. Number 4 is Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor. Now, I saw the demo for this before I started recording the video. That game looks really good. I am a massive Lord of the Rings fan. I love the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So far, I'm loving the Hobbit movies. My favorite movie of all time is The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King. So I've basically gone after almost every Lord of the Rings game that has ever come out, and this game looks pretty incredible. It adds in something pretty unique, where it's the Nemesis system, where you encounter enemies in your travels, and if they escape, they'll remember what you did. The thing that concerns me about that is that I'm afraid that that's going to get generic very quickly. In other words, if I were to encounter somebody and burn his face, that guy, when I encounter him later, is going to say, "You burned my face." And at first, I'm going to say that's really cool. But the next guy, I burn his face, and he says the exact same lines that the other guy said, then it's going to come off as, okay, this was a little bit scripted. I hope that the developers of the game really puts a little bit more detail into what they're creating when they do that, so that it doesn't feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over. I would hate for this game to get repetitive. It's open world. I don't know how open world it is. I don't know if you can go all the way from the Shire all the way to Mountain Doom. I don't think it's that big. I think it's only going to focus in a certain area. I don't know if it's really open world, because from what I saw, it looked like it was a little bit disjointed. Now, I know, and even throughout the entire video, or rather the video demo that was shown, they kept saying that this is later on, where you encounter this guy that you've encountered before, and now you're on this other follow-up mission where you put that guy. And that's another cool thing too, is that you play as a character. I believe his name is Talon or something, and or Talion. And his family was killed. He was left for dead, and he became like a half-human, half-wraith kind of thing. And now he has these special abilities. Now, the abilities allow you to do some really cool, awesome stuff like teleporting or dashing or whatever it looks like. You can go and like spot your target. It looks like it looks like what would Bilbo and what Frodo would look like when they would put on the One Ring. But to me, it comes off as eagle vision. And I'm glad I bring that up, because the game really looks a lot like an Assassin's Creed game. And I'm not the only one that says this. Somebody who has worked on Assassin's Creed 2 actually called it out on Twitter, saying that he recognized AC2 coding in the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor demo. And it does look a lot like it. Like, you know, even the ropes that, you know, the character balances himself on to get from point A to point B is almost like a ripoff of the ropes that you see in Assassin's Creed 2. Hopefully they change that so it's a little bit more unique. All they really got to do is change the way the guy looks so it doesn't look like a ripoff of Assassin's Creed 2. I don't want to play a game that's a ripoff of another game. I want to play a game that's unique to itself, and I think the Nemesis system is pretty cool. I'm afraid it's going to be really generic. I hope that the story of this game really pulls me in. I'm really excited for Shadow of Mordor. I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up buying it when it releases, and I hope that we see more of it at E3. I really like what I'm seeing. I think it's a single player. I don't think it's I don't think there's any multiplayer to it. But one of the cool things that I saw about this is that, you know, there's so many things that are like interlinked with the other actions that you take in the game. For not only burning a guy's face or cutting his leg off or something, you can actually pursue a target and bend him to your will using your wraith powers. So you can get him to assassinate somebody, you can get him to spy on somebody, etc. There were like 4 options, and those are the only 2 I can remember off the top of my head. And if you go to assassinate, you'll actually be able to see like his like grand scheme of like what his part is in this huge group of orcs and stuff. So it's like, all right, here's the main boss guy. Here's a guy that he's closely, not really related to, but he works with a lot. Like, this is a guy that he, you know, addresses a lot. So, you know, like, but from him, he can get a lot closer to this guy. There's a 35% chance that he will succeed in killing the guy or something like that. But also, when you launch the mission to also help him assassinate this guy, is that he's also going to have followers as well, and then by controlling the leader, his followers are going to rebel against the other guys, and it's like this all-out fight. I think that is an incredible feature. I think this game is going to be something that we've never seen before, but also as long as it doesn't come off as an Assassin's Creed 2 ripoff. I hope that they make the right moves with Shadow of Mordor. That is my number 4, and I'm really excited for it. Now, number 3 is Evolve. Now, this is the new Valve game that's being released for next-gen consoles and the PC. So it's coming out for the PlayStation 4, it's coming out for the Xbox One, and it's also coming out for the PC. Obviously, you can get it via Steam because it's a Valve product. But this game looks really awesome, and again, blurring the lines between single-player and multiplayer. The demo that was shown showed like these 4 players are actually working together to track down this one monster. But it's in this really big, I hope it's a really big world. You basically, the premise is kill the monster, but the monster is also controlled by another player. So it's one player that controls the monster versus these 4 guys that are working together to track down this monster. That alone is incredible. Being able to control the monster is awesome. Not only that, but the game has like a really cool like feature to it where early on in the game, the monster is like really small, he's really weak, so he has to kill wildlife and feed on them in order to get bigger and stronger, while these 4 guys are also hunting him down. So this world is, I'm suspecting, and I really hope that it's a really big world, because if you encounter these four players as the monster, and then you're really weak and they catch you early on, you gotta have the ability to escape. So if it's in like a map that's like a Call of Duty sized map, you're not getting away forever. Mind you, you're probably not going to get away forever anyway, but in order to add dynamic to the gameplay is that you got to be able to get away and still be able to operate. Once you do escape, you need to be able to build up your strength. At a certain point in the game, the character that plays the monster is going to be so big that it actually is going to be a challenge when they go ahead and the four players try to kill the monster. And there's other like challenges in this like not a wilderness, but it's like a this open world like nature outside jungle kind of looking thing. And there's other enemies that like will attack the four players, so you can actually use that to your advantage. There is so much strategy in this game. It is incredible. Greg from the Game Boat actually showed me the trailer. I heard about the game because I saw the trailer for it while I was watching stuff on YouTube. And then the next day I went into work and he said, look at this. And it was like a 5-minute demo of these guys talking about the game, showing actual gameplay. And my jaw hit the floor, and it took about 5 more minutes before I was able to pick it back up. The gameplay, the graphics of it looks really good. I think that this, like, it is so awesome where, like, you work together to attack this player-controlled enemy. And this player-controlled enemy is able to get stronger and could become a huge threat. And it looks like the world is so big that there's like structures that you can go inside of, maybe base yourself inside of, like bunker down for the monster to come through. But then there's other areas where like the monster can get away and hide out for a while. I think I feel like the experience when actually playing the game and playing as 4 characters going after this monster, I hope it's not like a 10-minute thing where it's like, all right, well, all I gotta do is just kill 3 monsters and then I'll be huge. No, it should be like a 20-minute, half hour, maybe even to an hour experience where you're actually hunting this guy down, following the tracks, being like, okay, he was here, we're on the trail, and then we get attacked by monsters, we have to fight off the monsters, and then all of a sudden the enemy controlled monster starts attacking us. They ambush us because he took advantage of the other AI controlled NPCs that are attacking us. And I imagine that there is so many experiences that you can get with Evolve. I cannot wait for that game. I think it looks incredible. I think it looks awesome. And I think that it's going to do extremely well. I actually can't really come up with anything that I have against the game. I just hope that the gameplay, like, there are like different characters. I hope that the characters, like, you're able to, like, the thing that I hope about when you're picking your class when you play is that you don't have to, like, let's say for example, if you play Transformers Fall of Cybertron and you do the escalation mode, when you do the exclamation mode, you can actually play up to 4 players, but there has to be a tank, there has to be a healer, there has to be a support class. I don't want to be forced into a class that I don't want. I want to be able, if I want to have 4 people that are all tanks, I want to be able to have the option to do that. I don't want to be forced into a character that I'm not comfortable with playing. Like if I'm really good as a tank, I'm just going to say, in any game, I'm never going to play a healer because I probably suck as a healer. I'm not that great at a support class. I'm all damage dealing. I want to be up in the action. I want to be just blazing and just shooting at whatever is moving. So I don't want to be forced into a situation. So hopefully the game doesn't force me into like classes. Hopefully they allow me to pick whatever I want. Mind you, coordinating with other people, you would be able to pick a class such as the tank or the healer. I want to be able to have that option. But this game looks awesome. I also hope that the world is huge, that allows for this sandbox to be, explored, and there are enough enemies in the game that are controlled by the AI that will present a challenge. It's not just the monster. Hopefully that this game is coming off as great as it looks. I think it looks awesome. Number 2 is Titanfall. Now, Titanfall comes out next Tuesday. I know this, and this is the reason why. Now, I have footage of Titanfall. I was going to show footage of Titanfall during this video, but I figured I don't want to give it away. And besides, the only footage that I have that doesn't have any commentary to it is like 8 minutes long, and I imagine this video is going to go on for much longer. So I decided to go for the Grand Theft Auto footage. But the reason why Titanfall is number 2 is because of the open beta. Now, the open beta was a brilliant marketing maneuver because it got the game into the hands of the players, and now because they played that game, they're praising it left and right, and they're recommending it to friends. That is a huge, awesome marketing move. They were also stress testing their servers. I don't think that they were looking for feedback because the game is, a few days away. And, the fact of the matter is that this game is good. It is good. It is exciting and it's awesome. The balance between Titans and human or pilots are phenomenal. The size of the map is perfect. It keeps the action close together yet far apart at the same time. I said in my other We Talk episode when I talked about the Titanfall beta that the AI were dumb, and they are. But there's a reason why they're dumb. I didn't mention this in the video, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, okay, well, now I understand it. It's because you need to have the ability to have bad players actually feel like they're putting up an effort. Because you will be able to get points from killing just the AI-controlled grunts. But not only that, but by killing the grunts, you will actually reduce the time of your cooldown to calling your Titan. So there is a use to them, and they can't all be like players, because if you have like these really high up AI units, then yeah, they're going to be a little bit of a challenge to you, and it probably may become the game is unplayable because the AI are so hard. Mind you, I think that they should be bumped up a little bit more. Like, I think that it's a little bit too pitiful that they're so weak. I want them to be just a little bit more bumped up. But the game, believe the hype of Titanfall. This game it plays incredible. It is incredibly awesome. And the fact of the matter is, Titanfall is going to have not just 2 maps, not just the 2 maps that we saw in the beta. It's going to have like 15 or 16 maps. But not only that, similar to the way Evolve does it, there's other NPC or AI-controlled native life that is going to come after you. And, there's like one where they said like there was this huge monstrosity that's in like the knees of this creature is going to come up to the tops of the mountains. It's like, I really like the creative. It's like some native life is so hostile that they'll attack you on sight. Others won't bother you unless you bother them. Like I said, believe the hype. Titanfall is awesome. I talk about it in depth with my We Talk episode when I talk about the beta. This game's going to come out next Tuesday, and I guarantee you that this is going to be the only thing I'm going to be doing. I am hugely, hugely, hugely excited for Titanfall. Now, I don't think it's going to be a Call of Duty killer, not this year, because number one, it's selling to a fractured market. It's selling to only the Xbox One, and it's only selling to the Xbox 360, and it's only selling to PC. It's not selling to the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 3. I think that they would do a lot better with their sales because of the fact that if they were to sell with the PlayStation consoles. But I understand why, I don't really know the dealings behind the scenes. I don't know what Respawn's deal with Microsoft is, but I know that, it's supposed to be a system seller to the Xbox One. I believe it will be, because the Xbox One copy of Titanfall is going to come out 2 weeks before it does on any other platform. So I am hugely excited for Titanfall. It's not going to kill Call of Duty. It's just not. Call of Duty will always have its fan base. They will always go to Titanfall. Or rather, they would always go to Call of Duty. But anyway, Titanfall is number 2, simply because of the fact that it is the system seller of the Xbox One. I strongly believe that. And it is as good as people say it is. Believe the hype. And it also, again, blurs the lines between single player and multiplayer. A lot of people, I kind of wish that it did have like a multiplayer, that it did have a really strong narrative, but I'm not bashing it for the fact that it doesn't have one. I'm really interested to see how a game will blend its multiplayer with its narrative. I hope that it has a really good narrative, but I kind of also hope that the game also doesn't get too repetitive. I know there's a lot of maps, and that they're big maps, and that they're really intricate and awesome experiences that you can have with them, but I'm kind of worried that they're going to get old quick. I don't think they're going to, but I want to be able to, I'm just going to play the single player because I'm just going to play it because I like the story. Anyway, I'm not bashing it for that. It is one of the 3 games on this list that are blurring the lines between single player and multiplayer. I think that that's really going to shape what next gen is all about, because a lot more games are starting to do that now. But people buy games for the multiplayer anyway. When I play Call of Duty, I don't play I play the single player. I get all the achievements in the single player, and then I never touch it again. I always consistently come back to play the multiplayer with friends, doing the zombie modes or the alien mode, or just playing for fun, just on the on the multiplayer, team deathmatch, domination, what have you. I feel like you're still gonna have fun with Titanfall. There is a reason why it's number 2 and not number 5 on my list. It is as good as it looks. I believe the hype. I can't say that enough. I can't wait for this game to come out on Tuesday. Number 1 is Watch Dogs. The reason why this game is number 1 on my list is because it would have made my list for last year's most anticipated games of 2013. It was supposed to come out in November, but then got delayed along with the crew. And it's the window for it to come out is sometime between April and June. So I'm anxiously awaiting for this game. Now, this game looks awesome. I mean, like, because people have been waiting for it for so long. They thought we all thought we were going to get it in November, and then a few weeks before it actually came out, it got delayed, and now we're still anxiously awaiting for this game to come out. The fact is, I actually like the fact that they delayed it. You know, it was like they were about to go for it, and then they were like, you know what? It's not at the level that we want it to be. Let's delay it. That, to me, says that the developers really care about the product that they're putting out. So I got really excited. Well, not really excited. I mean, I wasn't like throwing a party because of the fact that the game I've been waiting for forever has been delayed. I was actually a little bummed out, but also deep down I was like, well, this is a good thing. So this game is basically like it's an open world. You're in Chicago, or Ubisoft's interpretation of Chicago, and you're basically a hacker. You hack into like cameras, you hack into other people's phones, and it's so detailed, it's so intricate to be like, alright, well, I'm going to hack into that camera camera's going to give me access to that camera's going to give me access to the Wi-Fi network, and through the Wi-Fi network I can hack into a person's computer, and then hack into that camera, the webcam on the laptop, and then hack into a phone that's sitting on a table, and then get the account information of somebody, then go to an ATM and get that money out. But it's like, alright, well, who am I stealing from? And in the background you can hear a mom and her baby crying, and you're like, I don't feel right taking the information from a mother who's taking care of her child. But it's like, there's so much more to the game than just like the, you know, good choices and bad choices. It's like, the game is targeting your morality. I love when games do that. I think The Walking Dead Season 1 did that, where it's like, you come up to the van and you're like, should we take this stuff? Does it belong to other people? And then it's like, it's a game of survival. Whereas if you're playing as a character who's a complete asshole, it's like, I'm going to steal from everybody. I don't give a shit. And then it's like, alright, well, that's all well and good, but what if you're trying to be a good guy? What if you're trying to be a real vigilante? It's like, you wouldn't take that money from an innocent person. You would take it from people who have like a criminal record or something. And to me, it's like, I love when games like play on that, but there's so much more to it. It's like you can go and hack into like this security building and then gain access to all the area around it. So it's sort of like, but I guess really not really like the synchronization points in Assassin's Creed, where it reveals a portion of the map, but in Watch Dogs it takes that a step further, where now you unlock other abilities. You're now able to hack in this area once you hack into that security building. But not only that, it's like there are so many things you can hack. To me, I feel like you can hack everything. You can hack a forklift, you can hack little panels on a roof to give yourself cover, you can hack into a car, you can hack into a camera, hack into people's phones, and it's just like, it's mind-boggling just how, you know, how well thought out, how well detailed this game got. Not only that, but it's like, if you make enough waves, there's like a reputation level where it's like, you know, that how the public is going to view you if you're a real vigilante or if you're a criminal, downright criminal. I like it when games like have that, like, that scale. You know, it's really, and hopefully it impacts the game as a whole. Like, hopefully by me being, like, I'm a total criminal, I'm a straight up bad guy, hopefully this game is like, okay, well, now he's a bad guy, that's going to impact some of the ending, it's going to impact the ending of the game, where, you know, you make certain choices. I hope that the game also gives me the option to make choices, because a game that does have, like, a reputation meter, it should give me, like, an option. It's more of, like, a role-playing game now, more than it is just a single player, third-person shooter, hacking game, open world thing. Also, it's like, like I said before, it's so detailed that, like, if you could go inside of a gun store and then the news will come on and the TV in the background, and if the clerk recognizes you, he's going to trigger the silent alarm, and then it's going to have, like, the police on you, so now you got to go and you got to run away. To me, the game comes off as, like, a really, like, advanced form of Grand Theft Auto. It's like, you know, It's so open world. You're able to do these things that you can't do in other things. I hope that the world is filled with other stuff to do. Like you can like manage criminal activity and then try to stop criminal activity. Like say this person's gonna steal from this person, so you like target potential victims, and they'll be like, I'm gonna follow this person who may be victimized. They may be attacked by this other person, and I'm gonna stop the robbery. At the same time, it's like, you know, does the world have a lot to fill it? I mean, it is Chicago, and it's like, all right, well, how much can I do in here? Or is this going to get old fast? Hopefully, the game has like a whole lot to do, because one of the other things you can do is you can actually impact other people's gameplay. Now, during E3, they showed that there is a companion gaming kind of feature to it, where you could actually go on the smart glass or go on the iPad or whatever, and actually, you know, hack up blockers so that, you know, the police will run into it. You can hack into traffic lights through your iPad or your mobile device. That I really like. I like it that, you know, they're pushing the envelope with this companion gaming thing. I think that's also going to shape what next gen is going to look like. But not only that, but you can actually jump into another player's game and hack into their stuff. And also, it's like, I want to act like an NPC. I love when games tell me to act like an NPC, because then it's like I feel like I'm stealthy. I can walk by a player acting all normal, and they're not even going to notice me until I start hacking their data and steal the stuff that they have gained throughout the game. That I love. I love that this game is, not really blurring the lines between multiplayer and single player to an extent that, say, Evolve is or Titanfall is, but they're still doing the same thing, where like the player is playing on your single player to screw you up, but you can also do the same thing to them at any point in time. This game, I can't tell you enough. I have been waiting for this game. It was one of my more anticipated games last year. Not the most anticipated game, but one of the most anticipated games. And it carries over to 2014 with the most anticipated game of 2014 because of how detailed it looks, how awesome it looks. The only thing that I hope is that the narrative is good. And the only thing that I hope is that it doesn't get old. Well, I guess all this stuff isn't the only thing that I hope for. There were 3 things that I hope for. I hope the world is filled with enough stuff to do that the gameplay doesn't get too generic. It doesn't get too stale. And also, I hope that it also, the narrative is good. So I hope that all these things come into play, but it's so far from what I'm seeing. It looks incredible. And I personally think, you guys may have a different opinion. You can let me know in the comments what you think are your top 5 best or most anticipated games of 2014 are. To me, that game is the most anticipated game of 2014, Watch Dogs, because I've been waiting for it forever, and I can't wait for it to come out. Hopefully it comes out sometime between April and June. You know, the sooner the better, but also I want them to put out a good game. Anybody can put out a crappy game. I want them to put out a good game here. So, thank you all guys for watching. This has been an episode of We Talk. My name is Curci, and I will see you next week.